So this is the self-development with tactics book.
So, this is actually the third time that I'm starting this episode, because the first time I thought like, well, I already started, and the second time was okay. I made jokes about it that I thought that I've already started the episode, and now I'm actually starting the episode. But yeah, so this episode's gonna be completely different, but more after the intro actually. Yeah, and I can't even see. Now I can see. No, I can't see. Now, more after the intro. So yeah, as I've said already before the intro, this episode's going to be completely different, and I'm just turning to another screen, and there you can see a game of chess. Yeah, today's episode's going to actually be somehow a mixture between chess and self-development. Why and how I came up with this idea? Well, I pretty much like chess, because I actually consider, even though it is such a dumb thing and it is such a stupid thing, I consider chess being a smart game, and that it is just smart for me doing it, which is actually the reason why I do not play any games anymore. Like, I don't know, I've been used to playing FIFA quite a lot, and just because, like, yeah, you know, it consumes a lot of time, and I do not want to do it just because it consumes a lot of time. I thought, like, well, yeah, you know, let's actually play a smart game, just because I consider chess a smart game. And like a lot of other board games, I would say, and a lot of other card games. But the thing is, on every macOS device, there's already chess installed. Therefore, I thought, like, yeah, you know, let's actually play a game of chess. And also, I'm not really a beginner. I'm not really a master as well. Like, I do just make so many mistakes, and I do just really play so bad moves. But yeah, you know, it is somehow something that I do enjoy to some degree, you know, when I can actually play it, because I'm not really often playing it, just because I somehow as well consider it as, well, I don't want to say a waste of time, but I could do just something smarter. The thing is, I don't know if it is providing the most value for you, but the thing is, it is something different for me, and it is something different for you as well. And yeah, it gives me the ability to just talk about various things, and quite a lot of things, which is great, which is amazing, which is not actually that available for me or to me when I'm just doing a regular episode where I'm just going through something. I'm normally reading quite a lot, which is just, yeah, not... Well, I do actually like to read on the podcast, which is actually pretty funny, because I hate reading. Well, I do not hate reading, but it is not like my favorite thing to do just in my leisure time. Like, it is not. But the funny thing is, actually, in the podcast, or when I'm doing the podcast, it is actually not that bad. But yeah, let's actually begin the chess game. I do hope that everything is fine and the quality is somehow good, just because I had some issues again with the encoding or the encoder, which in the end results in some lags in the recording. So the recording itself lags, which is not that good, which is really not that good. It just really fucks with the whole experience of having and or watching and or consuming the recording, whether it be, well, the audio actually, it doesn't fuck with the audio, which is extremely good, but the thing is, it does really fuck with the video. You know, the video is lagging, everything is fucked up, everything is bad, which is not good, which is just not good. But yeah. But I normally begin a chess game with either D2 to D4 or something, but yeah, you see, you know? Yeah. As I said, I'm actually playing right now at the really, really easiest level, just because I want to win. And the funny thing is, I really hate losing. It is just amazing how much I hate to lose. You know, in every singular thing, like, it doesn't matter whether it is, I don't know, whether it is in sports. You know, I've been playing soccer for quite a long time when I was a little younger, and I absolutely hate losing there. I absolutely hated it. You know, I really hated it. Like, just, I don't know, like, it would fuck just the really moment. When I'm losing, I'm just getting so angry and so aggressive, which is a bad side of me. Like, in general, I'm relatively aggressive, I would say. Like, yeah, I'm relatively aggressive. But the thing is, often that's actually the case, and I think it is not only the case for me, but those bad habits that you're having or the bad sides that you're having aren't actually only bad. The case with my aggression and with me just getting really fucking angry from time to time, or just on certain occasions, whether it be in sports, whether it be actually while I'm working out, whether it be just because of people, could also be the case, which is actually some of the things that I'm not really proud of and that really fucks with me sometimes. But it really not only has bad sides, like it really does not only have bad sides. I'm normally just having some thing that, I see. Before I forget to mention it, subscribe to the podcast if you're enjoying it and if you want to have just more of some information on self-development and self-improvement or self-help, which actually is 3 times the exact same thing, but people call it differently, which is a funny thing. But if you want to know more on these things and if you're just eager to in generally get more knowledge, even though I really always say that you should do things, knowledge and motivation, all those things are good, I like them. But the thing is, it is not enough. It really is just not enough. It really is not. We have to do things. It is what it is. We have to do fucking things. It is not about just reading something. It's not about learning something. It is really not also about getting motivated, even though that could help with doing things. It really only is about doing things. Just reading about push-ups won't get you a big triceps. It won't get you just because you're reading it. And I think it is such an obvious thing, but still we believe that when it comes to business and when it comes to those things, then we really have to consume every single knowledge there is, and we really have to consume every single book and or read it there is, just because we somehow think that it will help us to be better. It could. I'm not really saying that the knowledge thing and knowledge in general is bad, and it doesn't help you or whatsoever. It really helps you. It really does. But we have to execute. When you know a lot, whatever it is, and no matter about what field it actually is, when you do not act on the knowledge you're having, then the knowledge is, really not unnecessary. But there's no result of your knowledge, If you do not use your knowledge, it really is like, okay, it is there, but there is no ROI of the knowledge. Okay, you have the knowledge, but, it is just there. There's nothing happening. But if you use your knowledge and if you act on your knowledge, then there is a lot of things happening, potentially. Like, okay, you could, you can have your own firm. You can just establish your own company, which apparently is actually the same. And you can do so much things, but we really have to act. And I also believe by acting, we're learning a lot as well. Like, only through acting and only through just also, I'm also including acting on what you already know, but through acting, through doing shit, we learn just such a lot of things. Like, through or by actually doing the podcast, I've learned so many things just because I went through articles, I did this and that, I gathered knowledge basically. But through just doing the podcast itself, I also had to learn a lot of things about the audio thing, like having good audio, what does make good audio, the video thing, why videos just have bad quality and why some videos do not have bad quality. Speaking things, like through speaking English, I learned English, which is amazing, which is fucking amazing. And, I've also gathered a lot of vocabulary in terms of the English part, which is, it is actually included in talking English, but I've gathered such a lot of things through just doing shit, and through just doing the podcast. And as Seth Godin actually already pointed out, having a podcast is amazing. In a pretty recent episode that he was making on his podcast actually, which is called Akimbo, which is amazing. If you haven't been listening to Akimbo yet, I really have to suggest you to go through one of the episodes because it is amazing. Not only his voice is amazing, but also the information you're getting there. is just amazing. There's no word that is better describing what it is than it is amazing. It just is fucking amazing. The thing is, he just really spreads a lot of knowledge that you won't find without actually searching for it, which is actually one of the things that I would say the internet is not good at. Because you can search for particular things, you can search for very detailed things as well, but you're not getting a great overview of things, which you might actually get through a book or by a book or from a book, just because the author of the book might also be interested in various other things, and therefore the author writes also about various other things. Totally, you can find it in articles on the web as well, but it is not so broad than in books, at least at my point of view, at least as I have experienced it as well. And there are so many good books. But yeah, so if you haven't checked out Akimbo, it is Akimbo from Seth Godin. It is SethGodin. A best-selling author, really amazing dude, amazing podcasts. This has to be said. I really have to suggest it. I really have to kind of, give him the word of mouth, I would say. I really have to, because word of mouth is actually one of the things that is just incredibly powerful, I have to say, because we human beings just still communicate with each other, and we still just talk about things that we like and things that we do not like. If a company is great and if the customer service is great, I'm going to talk about it. Especially me. Me with a podcast, and me with having just a medium to talk in, or to talk in about certain things that I'm interested in, or that somehow just either fuck with me or made me really happy. I'm gonna talk about these things, and everybody does, not only me. You're gonna just tell your friend, wow, if you found a great new website, you're eager actually to tell them, which is actually as well something that Seth Godin is talking about, just because he says, well, I just really have to think, because I'm not really into just talking shit there. He says people actually want to suggest things, and people want to talk about things because they want to feel good, because they are the first one who actually discovered this particular thing. If it is a great website and you maybe are knowing it yourself, I really think so. When you just discovered a new website and it is so fucking good, or a new app, and one of your friends is actually just going to love it, you are going to tell them, because you're going to feel very, very good if you tell them and they're like, wow, thanks a lot. I really needed this website. It is just a great website. It is amazing. It really is amazing, this thing. Word of mouth is strong. It is still strong. We still communicate. I don't know, how people are actually thinking about it, but I believe it is powerful. But I also believe that other people believe that it is powerful. But I gotta have to just turn on the light, because I'm pretty as dark. But yeah, let's actually get fucked, because as I said, I'm not the best in chess. Yeah, there it is again. So let's actually take the horse. I really like the horse, even though sometimes, let's put it down. Yeah, and he takes my pawn, as I've learned actually, because the thing is, I know a few of the figures. I do not know all of them. I know the pawn, I know the horse, the king, and the tower. And yeah, that's quite it, to be fucking honest. Let's take his pawn. Yeah. I've really learned such a lot of things through the podcast. It's amazing. And I would totally suggest you as well to go and have your own podcast, whatever it is, because it is just also a really great way to, earn a great income by just doing what you like to do. And apparently I'm doing it at the time. I'm talking about self-development, something that I'm really passionate about, and at the same time I'm actually playing chess, which is also one of the things that I like to do. Still, well, yeah, it is actually a little bit complicated to play chess, be relatively good, and talk about things that you're actually passionate about. But yeah, it is what it is. The thing is, we currently are going through The Way of the Seal, which I believe is quite a good book. Summaries really just, some summaries are good, even though the book is good, and some summaries are bad, even though the book is good, which is sometimes really fucked up, But the thing is, what should you be doing about it? But let's actually see what move I should be doing next. Because I actually like how everything is. The funny thing is, there is actually a move when you're actually taking a tower and the king, and you're just somehow exchanging them, which is a great move to actually get the king into a pretty safe spot. And it is not really, or I'm not really able to do it here in this game, apparently, at least as far as I know, because I've tried it before. I've played this game before on the Mac, but it somehow isn't working. But I would like to, because it is actually a pretty great move to, as I said, protect the king. The thing is, a funny thing that Seth Godin actually was talking about, I think it was actually the newest episode. I guess it actually is. In the newest episode, which actually I think was the reason why I'm just now sitting here playing chess and talking about things that I'm passionate about, I believe that it is because Seth Godin was recently on the news podcast, as I said already, and he was also talking about chess, and he was talking about an automated chess. Actually, it is called Mechanical Turk, and you might notice, you might know just the Mechanical Turk term from the Amazon Mechanical Turk. It is, I think, not the exact same thing. It is something different, but the Mechanical Turk was actually, back in the days, it was, let's actually do this. It was a chess machine. Chess machine in terms of, actually it looked like a machine, it looked like a thing that's, is a machine that is playing chess, and actually a pretty good machine. The thing was, as it is recorded, I don't know how they know, it is a little, I'm always trying to be pretty critical in terms of things, just because there, I don't know. I think being critical in general is something that's pretty important, and just really makes sense. Just because, not everything is true, not everything is right, and it apparently doesn't have anything to do with being negative. Because it is just something different, being critical, at least at my point of view, and being negative and just always expecting negative shit to come, it really is not. It really is not the exact same thing. But just because I'm thinking about it, please don't be negative. I'm seeing it every day. I'm seeing it with myself as well. I do kind of not say often, but sometimes I really feel and I really notice about myself that I'm negative and that I focus on negative shit, but I should not. There are so many good things in the world. There are so many wonderful things on this fucking planet. But you're not gonna see them if you're fucking if you're focusing on the bad shit, because there's also a lot of bad shit. Of course there are gonna be some bad days, even though I really somehow, I don't know where I've got it from, and I've been talking about it in an episode as well. I don't know where it is from, but as I know, there are no bad days. There are only days you learn a lot from. And I think apparently it is true, just because if you have the right mindset or whatsoever, you you like, you can learn from every single situation, which was actually also something, and now the circle actually closes, something that we've gone through in The Way of the Seal, from Mark Devine. Actually a quite great book, just because I somehow believe and I somehow feel like that, all the books that SEALs have written are actually pretty great, because just I feel like that they know what they're talking about. And this is quite it. Like, I really trust in them. I don't know why I'm trusting them. I really don't. But I really believe that they just know what they're talking about. And especially Extreme Ownership from Jocko Willink and Leif Babin, if I remember correctly, is really a great book. I've read a part of it, but I stopped, I think, just after a quarter or something. So I haven't read a big part of it. I truly have not. But the part that I have read, it was truly amazing. It really was. It is just interesting to see how war actually is. To be honest, it is really interesting, just to see how war is. And there you can totally see and feel that it definitely is not good. And it definitely is not nice. Because sometimes I feel like, well, war is something that is so like outlandish, that at least me, at least it is the case for me. I do not, I can think about war just because I know a little bit of war and I can just somehow assume how war is. But nobody exactly knows that hasn't been in war, how it really is like. And those people know, because they were SEALs. And on the other hand, I really like them just because I kind of believe that they're so incredibly good in shape, or they are in such an incredibly good shape. It is just amazing. It really is amazing. I don't know, like, it's insane. It is insane. But yeah, let's actually see that I'm not getting crushed here. Let's see. Chess is pretty nice because there are so many things you have to keep attention to. Every single move that somebody's doing or is going to make is eventually one that's could really fuck with you. But yeah, let's actually do it like that, I guess. It's a pretty risky one for the people that are actually watching, but the thing is, I could now take his... I don't know why he did it, why he's taking my pawn, but I'm gonna take his... I don't know, the other thing that is just extremely fucking powerful, which is always next to the king. I don't know what it is called, but I'm gonna take it, because it truly is. Yeah, and now I'm gonna take his other thing that is only able to move diagonal. What? Have you seen this? Have you seen it? This exact move is the move that I was talking about. Like, switching or exchanging the king with the tower is an amazingly good move, just because, you're actually protecting the fucking king. It's not nice for me right now, because now it's getting a little bit... not complicated, but not really easy now. But let me see, actually. Let me see. Yeah, let's just move. But I have actually stopped at the Mechanical Turk, that Seth Godin was talking about in his podcast as well. I would still like you, even though I'm going to talk about it, I would still like you to go through this particular episode. I guess it must be, or should actually be, the latest one. I guess. I am not quite sure. I really am not quite sure, but I guess it is the last one. The latest one. It is amazing. The thing with the Mechanical Turk is, from the outside, it seems to be just a wonderful artificial intelligence or artificial intelligent machine, and that seems to be just moving the chess figures by magic or something. The real thing is with this machine from the 1700 actually, because I've actually read a quick article and you can find it on Wikipedia. It's a quick article on what it actually is. Truly interesting. Truly interesting. What I'm seeing there just right now is in my chess game. I'm gonna do this one. Yeah, I wanted this. I wanted to do this. Thanks a lot, motherfucker. Now I'm gonna take his horse, and there is left with a tower, a few pawns, and no tower, a few pawns, and his king. And I'm gonna take every of his fucking pawns. Yeah, I've actually won. You know, I'm really in a winning streak. The funny thing is, like, it is the easiest difficulty that I am on. Like, this is the funny thing about it, and it's really like not that hard. You know, the thing is, while I'm talking whatsoever, I'm really not concentrated. This is the good part about it. Still, like, yeah, gonna do it like this because he can't fuck with me. Yeah, but I have stopped with the mechanical Turk once again. The thing with the mechanical Turk is that it seems to be, and now I'm again having some encoding issues. Now they are gone away. The thing with the mechanical Turk is it seems to be a machine, but in reality there's actually a chess master inside. And it is really funny, you know, because the thing is, it got actually made, and it really then was quite somehow correlated to me. It somehow just, well, yeah, I don't know if I was then just caring more about it than just before, but the thing is, I think it was Wolfgang, or actually Wolfgang, because it's a German name, Wolfgang Kempler, if I remember correctly. He built this machine, and inside of this machine, as I said, there is a grandmaster of chess. And they're just moving the figures using magnets from beneath. The thing is, I don't know how they're actually doing it, just because, you know, he doesn't actually see where figures are. I don't know if there is some cooperation between the guy that is actually just coming with the machine. Like, okay, you know, there is a guy that is driving the machine and the chess master inside. If they just somehow have communication going on, I don't know. I assume it is actually the case, just because, like, you know, how would it be working instead? But yeah, you know, the funny thing about it is that he was actually able to win against Napoleon, which was actually the reason why I have then looked up the Wikipedia page, because I actually wanted to see if it is the case, like if this is actually true or not, just because I assumed that Napoleon is actually a pretty good chess player. Then I've looked up a little bit about Napoleon, and I've actually seen, well, you know, he wasn't playing a lot of chess, which I could have assumed, you know, just because, like, in war, and there was actually some comments about this certain article, and people say, like, okay, you know, in war there is no fucking time to play chess, and I thought, like, well, you know, it is actually true. Like, when you're in war and there's constant war going on, and, well, there's no fucking time to do shit. There really is no time. This fucking motherfucker. I'm gonna... Well, the thing is, there's a pretty easy one. If you're having a tower and is it dame? I don't fucking know what it is called. You know, the other one that is so fucking powerful. Or you're having two towers. It is pretty nice just because you can move them. You can move one of them by just crossing the other one. I don't know, I'm going to show it to you. Now, for all the podcast listeners, you're basically having two that are moving from side to side and are able to move as much as there is, actually. The thing then is, I'm gonna get rid of his paw right now, just because it pisses me on. well, now he's fucked, I guess. Fuck. The thing is, if you're then having two of these figures, then you're actually able to move them separately, obviously, but you can move them. I don't know how I should actually explain it. You can move one of them by letting the other one stand there, which actually means that you're basically having two lines. So let's say the A and B line or the C and D line, and you're having both of the lines for yourself. Which means like you are, if the king is on one of these lines, then he's basically dead. The thing is, you can move those figures separately, so you can actually push the king into the direction you want him to push, which means like to one edge of the board. And then in the end, he's actually on a line where he can't move any longer, just because he's on a line that you are on as well with a tower or something else. And on the other line, you as well with a tower or something else that is moving or that is able to move infinitively. And then, then he lost. And now I'm actually trying to figure out how I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do it the following way. I think like this. Let's push him a little bit away. Let's actually push him a little bit away. It is just nice, to have some figures that are able to just move no matter how. It's just good. It's just great. But the Way of the Seal is a really good one. And Akimbo, the podcast of Seth Godin, is really a good one. I guess it is actually one of the best podcasts I've ever been listening to. And I've been listening to a few German ones that actually were about, they have been about football actually. So soccer, because I don't like saying football just because I kind of feel like, that, football is football and soccer is soccer and, there should be a difference and I'm not going to mix them two up. But yeah. Afterwards, I'm actually going to eat something. After I've actually won this game, which I am hopefully doing relatively quickly now. But yeah, he lost. Yeah, white wins. Now I've won. It actually took me just a really, really, really long time. Considering that it was actually the lightest or the easiest difficulty there is, where the computer is really not good. The funny thing is, I guess, if you just step up one bit, because it is somehow a slider, if you just step up the game for 1 bit, it's already getting just way harder, and he's gonna crush me. But maybe I'm gonna actually make a second episode of this kind, because I'm seeing that I'm just talking pretty good today. Could also be just I could also be able to talk while I'm just going through a summary. The thing is, with going through articles and summaries, I can somehow ensure that I'm able to provide a lot of value and a lot of knowledge. But I gotta have to just think about it with myself or on my own. And I do hope that it was somehow something different. I guess so. It was quite fun for me, to be honest, just because it was something different. But just always changing up things, always trying out new things, really important and really makes sense. But this is it with the episode, I guess. And I really have to thank you for listening and or watching. If you're on a podcast, there's also a YouTube video. And if you're on a YouTube video, there's also a podcast version, which means, saving quite a lot of time when you are on the video. And changing to the podcast will save you a lot of time just because you can listen to the podcast wherever you are. But I wish you the best health, happiness, and also success. And I also hope that you're going to remind yourself on how you gonna be remembered. which means your legacy. Even though we can be just as nice as possible and still people are not going to like us, just because it is what it is, just because people are people and people just sometimes do not like other people, just because of some reasons that sometimes actually do not make any fucking sense. But yeah. I wish you the best. Thanks again. I see you the next time.